With the conclusion of a comprehensive agreement, the EU and the UK have opened a new chapter in their relationship. In almost a year of intensive negotiations, it has been possible to comprehensively reshape the future relation between the EU and the UK. The partnership agreement negotiated between the EU and the UK provisionally entered into force on January 1st. It puts EU-UK relations on a new footing. This is a great achievement. Never before has such a comprehensive agreement between the EU and a third country been agreed, and in record time. Both sides, the EU and the UK, benefit from the agreement reached, compared to a no-deal Brexit. The agreement came just in time to enable a seamless transition into a new comprehensive contractual framework after the end of the transition phase ending on December 31st. Seamless, but of course not frictionless. All 27 member states gave their approval to the agreement and its provisional application on December 29th. The consent of the European Parliament is required for the agreement to finally enter into force. The provisional application gives the European Parliament time to examine the agreement. The EU and the UK will continue to be close partners and friends. The partnership agreement forms an excellent basis for this. Which regulations have now been agreed? The agreement on future relations establishes, among other things, a comprehensive economic partnership. This is essentially based on a free trade agreement that does not provide for tariffs or quotas and thus averts significant trade barriers, but not all of them. But such a partnership also needs fair framework conditions. That is why both sides have agreed far-reaching regulations to guarantee fair competition. This applies to the area of state aid as well as standards in consumer protection, employee protection, and the environment and climate. But there could be no question of real economic partnership if the future relationship did not go beyond trade issues. The European Union and the United Kingdom have therefore also agreed on the framework for future cooperation in many other areas. These do include services, professional qualifications, public procurement, environmental and energy issues, air, sea and rail freight transport, and regulations on social security or research and development. But of course, in all these areas, they are not as close as they were while the UK was a member. Under the agreement, the UK will continue to participate in a number of EU programs, but not all of them. One of the loudest examples recently was Erasmus. In order to take into account the close interdependence and geographical proximity of the EU and the UK, the agreement also establishes a close security partnership. This enables future cooperation on justice and home affairs issues. Specifically, this means that both sides will continue to work closely together on the fight against crime, for example within the framework of Europol, and will coordinate the fight against money laundering, transnational crime and terrorism. In addition, the agreement regulates the mutual exchange of data, for example of passenger data or entries in criminal records. All of this will be done in accordance with the European Convention on Human Rights and the level of data protection in the EU. Unfortunately, contrary to the wishes of the European Union, the agreement does not contain any provisions on cooperation in foreign and security policy. However, the EU and the United Kingdom remain important partners in NATO, the OSCE and the United Nations. On what basis did the European Commission negotiate all of this? With the withdrawal of the United Kingdom from the European Union on February 1st, the withdrawal agreement previously negotiated between the EU and the UK came into force. The exit agreement already regulates important issues such as the rights of citizens. This agreement is accompanied by a political declaration in which the framework for the negotiations on the future relationship was mutually agreed, although not binding. In line with the political declaration, the 27 EU member states agreed on February 25th on the negotiating mandate for the European Commission, which negotiated the future relationship with the UK on behalf of the member states. Under difficult conditions in view of the COVID-19 pandemic, the EU and the UK negotiated continuously from March to December 2020. The European Commission coordinated very closely with both the 27 EU member states and the European Parliament. Most recently, both sides intensified the negotiations again so that an agreement was reached on December 24th. What happened at the end of the transition phase? What preparations have been made? The transition phase set out in the withdrawal agreement applied until December 31st, as I said. It has given citizens, businesses and public administration time to prepare for the UK's exit from the EU's internal market and customs union. Since January 1st, the UK is no longer part of the EU internal market and the customs union. This is fundamentally changing the relationship between the EU and the UK, regardless of the new partnership agreement. The German federal government is fully prepared for this changes, which are foreseeable before the end of the transition phase and which were independent of the negotiations on the future relationship. The federal government was in very close contact within the EU with the European Commission and the other member states, and at national level with all stakeholders like businesses, associations, citizens, and did continue to do so. So the European Commission published an overview of the changes that occurred, regardless of the contract negotiations, in a communication, the so-called readiness communication, on July 9th. Detailed information on the individual changes, for example travel, customs regulation, data protection law, industrial products, chemicals, etc., can be found in the almost 100 sector-specific preparatory notices to stakeholders, the so-called readiness notices, and are intended to support public administration, companies and citizens to prepare. And I really hope they all use that. But now that we have a comprehensive trade deal, what role does the exit agreement play? Thanks to the withdrawal agreement, freedom of movement in the EU, that means the right to live, work and study and be socially secure anywhere in the EU and the UK, continued until the end of the transition phase. In addition, the rights of EU citizens who resided in the UK up to December 31st and the rights of British people who lived in the EU up to December 31st will be fully protected for life. They can still live, work, study and enjoy social security in the UK or the EU. These rights result from the withdrawal agreement. The resulting regulatory mandates are implemented through national legislation and measures. In Germany, on November 24th, the law on the current adaptation of the Freedom of Movement Act of the EU and other provisions to Union law came into force, which takes into account the status rights of Britons and their family members entitled to free movement under the withdrawal agreement. The United Kingdom has no longer had a say in the EU institutions since leaving on February 1st. Since then, British citizens have also been excluded from participating in European citizens' initiatives and no longer have the right to vote or stand as a candidate in local or European elections. With the special regulation on Northern Ireland anchored in the withdrawal agreement, the integrity of the EU internal market is preserved. At the same time, it is ensured that there will be no controls at the border between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, and that the Good Friday Agreement will be fully respected. The regulation stipulates that Northern Ireland remains part of the UK customs territory, but that all relevant EU internal market rules apply in Northern Ireland and that the EU customs code is applied. The necessary controls and customs levies take place at the entry points of the Irish island in Northern Ireland. In addition, the withdrawal agreement regulates the United Kingdom's financial obligations towards the EU. The withdrawal agreement provides for a joint committee in which the EU and the UK regularly exchange information on the implementation of the withdrawal agreement. On December 8th, the two chairmen of the joint committee, the Vice President of the European Commission, Maros Šefčovič, and the British Vice Prime Minister Michael Gove, reached an extensive agreement on the outstanding issues. The formal adoption by the Joint Committee took place on December 17th, so that the withdrawal agreement and the associated protocols could be fully implemented since January 1st. And if you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel and my other channels. I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.